So this video is all about how to aim in the game of pool, and this is part 2, which is the advanced part of this set of videos. Now if you've watched the beginner's guide to how to aim, then you'll see that I'm using the ghost ball system, and that if we can deliver the cue ball to the ghost ball position, then we can make the pot. So if we're at a fairly shallow angle, we put the cue ball back in the ghost ball position and we can pot the ball. But we also saw with that there are limitations to it, and when you come round to a finer cut, if we imagine the centre of the ghost ball behind the shot, keep our eyes on that and come round and play the shot in the same way, we miss the pot. So the first thing to do is to understand why that happens. Now, the reason for that is that when we play a shot from behind the ball or close to behind the ball, the cue ball is travelling towards the pocket and almost along that shot line. So all of our forces and momentum are heading in that direction. So they don't have any effect on anything. When we come round to over here and we're playing a much finer cut, the cue ball is heading this way, almost at 90 degrees to where we want the ball to go. So as this ball comes into here and gets into this final ghost ball position, that fleeting moment that they're in contact there, the cue ball is heading that way, and it's enough just to throw the object ball away from that line and forward, and which is why we miss the pot to that side. And that's called the throw effect. The throw effect is affected by several factors. So obviously the angle is the biggest factor. The wider you come round, the more throw effect there is. And technically, even just off straight, there's a tiny amount of throw, but you're not going to notice it for those first few degrees. The further we come round, the stronger that throw effect is going to get, and obviously when you get to sort of almost your maximum, that's when the throw is going to be at its strongest. The other thing that is quite a big factor in it is the pace of the cue ball. When you play the shot quite firm, you're still going to get throw, but you won't get quite as much as if you play the shot softly. If you play the shot softly, because it's going that little bit slower, these balls are in contact for that little bit longer, and it pushes the object ball further than it would do if you played it firmly. So if I just try and demonstrate that, if I come round to here, if I line up the ghost ball there and I play it fairly firm, I still made the pot. It was going towards that side of the pocket, but we still made it. If I come round and I play that shot exactly the same, but I play it quite gently, you see that I missed the pot. So it's a combination of that angle and the speed we're playing at. So we need to factor both of those things in. So let's say that we're going to play that shot just like we did a minute ago. So it was about, let's say it's about here. We need to make some adjustments to enable us to pot that ball. So if I know that I want to play this shot fairly softly, and I know that I've got a fairly steep angle, we saw there that I missed by about that much. So all we need to do is adjust our aim to do the opposite of how much we missed by. So usually we would come around and we would stand behind the shot and we'd sight our ghost ball directly behind it. Because we know that we missed to this side, all we do is we adjust and basically line up as if we were going to miss to the opposite side of the pocket. So we'll line up here to this side of the pocket and come back and imagine our ghost ball here. So we're aiming to miss to the left. We keep our eyes on the centre of that ghost ball, come round, lining this up as if we're going to miss to the left. And then the throw effect carries the ball back into the middle of the pocket. So obviously you need to have an idea of how much you're going to miss by in the first place in order of how much of an adjustment to make. If I was playing that shot a little firmer, then I know that I'm probably only going to be just off here, so I might not need to make much adjustment at all. I might just aim just a fraction to that side of the pocket, just enough to throw it back in. If I was coming round to a really steep angle and I was playing it soft, I might think I might be missing by quite a lot, and you might have to adjust your initial aim quite dramatically in order to get it there. It's very hard to say exactly how much that is because the cloth and other factors might come into effect. So you really need to practice this. I would start by playing it exactly where you want the ghost ball to be and see how much you miss by, and then it gives you a better idea of how much to adjust by, and practice it at different angles and at different speeds because the two will make quite a big difference. The other factor that you need to take into account, and this is why this is quite complex, and I have it as an advanced lesson so as not to confuse people with the beginner's lesson, is that you also need to factor in how close this ball is to the pocket. If this ball is hanging over the jaw here, a little bit of throw is not going to make much difference. You're still likely to pop the ball because it's so close to the pocket. The further away this ball is from the pocket, tiny amount of throw at the start, by the time it gets there it's going to be well wide. It doesn't take much at all, so you need to factor that into it as well. So there are lots of things to consider, and how much you alter your initial aim will depend on all of those factors. So practice this different distances, different angles, different speeds, until you have a real feel for how much to adjust by. And it's just a case of aiming to the opposite side that you know the throw will send the ball to. Hopefully that all makes sense. If you have any questions, I'll try and explain as best as I can in the comments. As with everything, practice, practice, practice until you get a real feel for how this works.
If you want to see more practice routines and pool tutorials, then please remember to subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the equipment I use in this video, then there are links in the description below.